Naturally. Hi everyone, this is Deborah Rose with the Talk Show Live in beautiful Payson, Arizona. Our featured guest today is the illustrious Bobby Davis. We're going to be getting to him in just a second. Please share the show if you would mind. Don't be afraid to ask questions. It's going to be a really interesting show. So I want to first start out and give a shout out to Cameron Davis, Razor Thin Media, who is behind the camera waving at you right now. He's fantastic. Without him, this show would not even exist. So Cameron gets all the credit. And then I also want to give a huge shout out to our very first sponsor, Overman Design Jewelers in Payson, Arizona. Chad and Melissa Overman are huge, I call them ambassadors of love. Every time you go into their jewelry store, boy, if you're not in love, they're going to force you to be in love. They give out these little wooden coins. Have you seen that? They've got what do they say? The oldest, kisses. The oldest living mistletoe over their front door. And it's just adorable. They're an incredible...
they're great people.
They are, aren't they? And they contribute so much to all these wonderful fundraisers that you help partake in. Yeah. So we're just going to jump right in now. This is Bobby Davis. He is the Payson Economic Developer Specialist, right, Bobby?
That's
so
right.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you, Deborah. Thank you for having me on the show today. I'm really excited to be here.
Well, it's a pleasure. And we're going to start out by, you've got all kinds of phenomenal information to share with us. So we actually have a trivia question. And the first person to answer on Facebook Live will get this beautiful green hat, Payson, cool mountain town. And it's filled with a little bit of goodies in there, and you can't really see it, but there's goodies in there. And we're going to throw in the Mogollon Monster. If you haven't seen this, there's rumors that this guy exists in our neck of the woods. Isn't that true?
I've seen him up here. I tell you what, it's important. The Mogollon Monster is part of our culture and our heritage. So,
That's phenomenal.
I think Bobby's dressed up a couple of times.
I think I've been to Mogollon Monster at a couple of events. So,
actually, you are a funster because you helped put on the Kiwanis fundraiser for the youth, and you were Mr. Hippie Dude.
That's right.
And if you could see Bobby's socks, you could depict the colorful character he really is. There you go. There he is. This is the true Bobby.
That's right.
I just wanted you to know. So our trivia question today is, how many counties are in the United States of America? The first person to answer correctly through Facebook Live is going to win this hat filled with goodies. So we'll just let that one ride. How many counties are in the United States of America? So
that's right.
Okay, why don't you tell us in just a second how many counties there are, but what is your job and what is your passion?
Well, my passion is to help grow Payson and the Rim Country. I've been with the Town of Payson for almost 5 years now as the economic development specialist for the town. And it's taken those 5 years to establish the rapport with the businesses and working with the businesses to help educate them because, for example, it's easier to grow a already existing business than it is to recruit a business from outside into a community because of just the cost. And when you sit down and you start thinking about what it takes to move a business, even if it's across town, it's huge. There's a big cost. And if you're going to move it from another state, from California into Arizona, it's even a bigger cost. Mm-hmm. But so you have to really want to move a business, and there has to be a reason for that business to move before that happens. So our business, the line of work that I am in, it takes a while to nurture those type of relationships with different customers and different businesses, whether it's California, New Mexico, Arizona, wherever it is, to actually get some results. And then, so I really have a good time working with that, going out to different trade shows. I attended the trade show in January in Las Vegas at what they call the SHOT Show. And that stands for Shooting and Hunting and Outdoor activities. That's the world's largest event held at the Sands Hotel and Convention Center there, and there was 67,000 people a day going into this event.
Wow.
And it's not open to the public. You have to have an invitation to attend this, and it's all military weapons, police weapons, archery, any kind of outdoor sporting, because that's the kind of business that we're focusing on, that I focus on to try to recruit into Payson because of where we live.
Yes.
We live in the forest.
Yes, we do.
We live in this beautiful area, and that's the type of business that we want to recruit, the small niche manufacturing businesses that, like we have at the air park. Ammo Inc., for example. They have almost 50 employees, and they're looking to expand because they bought 2 additional companies and technology companies. So they're trying to get into the military ammunition side, which is huge. So we're working with them, trying to expand, trying to get a new building built for them so that they can expand. And those are good jobs. And those jobs pay a good wage that you can afford to live, raise a family, and enjoy our neighborhood.
Absolutely. Why don't you do we have any answers yet?
We do. We have 3007 from Maya Crespin at the Rim Country Regional Chamber.
Oh, that's really
Maya
close,
is really
Maya.
close, because the answer to this is 3,111 counties in the United States. And the reason we ask that is because right here, you can see all the counties in the United States. And I always think it's really funny too, because you see when you're over here, when they started the counties on the East Coast, by the time they get to the West Coast, they go, wow, it's just really big counties now.
Yeah.
But,
So you can see the counties.
right? Now look at that spot right in the middle of Arizona. That is Gila County. And that's where we live, is in Gila County. Well, Gila County is number 24 out of the top 25 counties in the United States for the best topographical and livable area in the country.
That's incredible. And what do they base that on, Bobby?
As far as lakes, mountains, areas that, just the beauty that we live in, so that's one of the top rankings. We're also just rated this year as the number 3 best place in all the counties in the United States for retirement, which we have a big retirement community. So that's really important. So that's part of, our economic development growth is for that retiree segment of, because they come with expendable income.
Yeah.
They can afford to live here. They love to live here, and we love to have them.
Absolutely. So would you say that Maya was close enough to win this little
I
green
think
hat?
Maya should win it, yes.
Hey, Maya. Come on in
And-
later today and you can get your little green hat. Okay, girl? Good
And
job.
we can't say enough good things about
Oh
Maya
my
Crespin,
gosh.
the
Isn't she
executive
awesome?
director of the Regional Chamber of Commerce. She is just top notch and outstanding.
I agree.
Maya and I work together closely. If we don't communicate 3 times a day, then something's wrong.
Oh my gosh.
So-
Yeah, she's an absolute pleasure. She kicked off the live talk shows with us several months ago. She was our first guest and she did a fabulous job.
Oh, yeah.
So talk to us a little bit about the overall demographic of Payson and what kind of businesses might be attracted because of the demographic here.
Okay. Our overall age of Payson is 54. And that's based off of, we have a large retirement community of 65 plus age, and then it breaks it down by age and generation. But the average age is 54. And for example, Gilbert, Arizona, their average age is 31, with an average minimum income of $93,000. Okay, compared to Payson, it's 54 age and $47,000 as a median income. So you can see the difference between a retirement community and a very active young generation growing up in Gilbert. But keep in mind too that Gilbert is still the town of Gilbert. It's not the city of Gilbert, because they want to keep that small town atmosphere, even though they have 250,000 residents. And that's what we're trying to work with Payson. We have so much going on in Payson because of what our forefathers have done in the past to get us to this point. For example, our water, the C.C. Cragen Water Project is huge. They've been working on that it's going to be one of those 30-year overnight successes.
Yeah.
You know, we get to take credit for it because, you know, Buzz and all the other guys have been working on this all their whole career to get us to this point, and we get to celebrate and turn the water switch on and say, here we got water, you know. So thanks to all of our the people in the past that have worked so hard to get us to that point. But you know, we run a 50-mile water line from Blue Ridge Reservoir, this 50 miles north of Payson, underground down to Payson. We built a brand new treatment center because we have to take that water from the Blue Ridge and treat it before we can put it into our water system, because if not, then it's going to really create a major problem. So hopefully, not hopefully, in June of this year, we'll dedicate and open up our new water treatment facility. And that'll give Payson a guaranteed water supply for the future, which is huge all over the country, not only just in Arizona. So beautiful Payson, Arizona will have a guaranteed water supply, where there's a lot of other communities that are growing, but they have major water problems.
Yeah, that's true.
You know, so we also have another huge thing that's just happened May 24th. There was an announcement that Cable One, who's located, their corporate office is out of Chicago, but they have a location up in Show Low. We've been working on this for many years. They're going to start running a high fiber transmission line from Show Low down to Star Valley, which will be phase 1. And then phase 2 will be from Star Valley into Payson. And then phase 3 will be from 87 down to Phoenix, will be phase 3. And this is going to happen, you know, so once that takes place, and that should start in June of this year, so it's just right around the corner. It's going to take about probably 18 months to complete it, but that will give us that reliable, redundant fiber that we so desperately need to have our community grow, because as we all know and live, if the fiber goes down, we're dead in the water.
And the fiber has gone down.
Well,
we haven't had fiber, we've had cable.
Yeah, we've had cable.
And little squirrels and all kinds of little creatures.
And believe it or not, those squirrels are a major danger.
Yeah, they are.
This 144 strand fiber line is infused with cayenne pepper so that they can deter these squirrels from eating that.
Wow.
You know, even buried up above over the EPS lines or underground. So it is people say the squirrel got it, and they go, yeah, right.
Yeah, I know. It's
But
kind of like
it has happened.
Running joke.
That or somebody shooting it with a shotgun, and that's not a good thing.
No.
But with our partners with APS and Cable One, and we've had the Rim Country broadband consortium that we've worked with and has worked on this issue for many years. So I'm really happy to see this coming up.
I am too.
That'll open up a lot of areas.
Yes, it will. So we're making the area more sound and stable, so you can actually run a business from Payson.
Yes.
So can you talk to us a little bit about how we attract good jobs to the area so that people do want to move here, that are younger demographic, that can support the retirement community?
Right.
Where do people go to find good jobs here?
Well, I mean, that's one of the things that we're working with on our Economic Development Advisory Consortium that we hold. They're the ones that help me follow my game book.
Okay.
I call this the Playbook.
Okay.
And this is the Greater Payson Area Economic Development Strategic Plan.
Okay.
You always see coaches and NFL coaches are talking behind, calling their game plans. Well, this is my game plan. And this is a 5-year plan that lays out exactly what we need to do we're already in our 2nd year. And you can see all my markings back here because these are the key initiatives that I have to follow for us to arrive at that point. And then it's a 1 to 2 year plan or a 3 to 5 year plan. And who is going to be working with me? Like if it's the Chamber of Commerce or if it's the Arizona Commerce Authority, whoever the partner is that we're working with, that's going to help me bring this down. we concentrate on key initiatives for like job creations, town centers to create a vibrant, livable space, because that's what we all want. You know, wherever we go, we want to be able to be comfortable and live and enjoy our surroundings. You know, because if you take a poll, you ask. I went to a seminar one time for economic development, and they give us a 3x5 card, and they said, describe your town, why people want to be there. Out of the 75 people that were there, we all said, great place to live, great people, area is beautiful, whether you're living in the Mojave Desert, you're living down in Phoenix, or you're living in Payson, Arizona. We all said the same things because we enjoy where we live. If we don't, we move. And then they come back and said, okay, now tell me the real reason that people want to come to Payson, Arizona. Well, they want to come to Payson, Arizona because we're at 5,000 feet. Yeah. We're 90 minutes away from anywhere you want to go in this state. We're in the heart of Arizona. This is a beautiful place to live. You know, why wouldn't you want to be here? It's much cooler than it is in the valley, I assure you. You know, and if you don't believe me, come up here on July the 4th and see our fireworks and actually enjoy being outside July 4th. You know, so. You know,
that brings up a point. I went down to the Phoenix last July, I think it was 19th. It was like 119 or 18 degrees on the valley floor. By the time I got up to Payson, it was 73 degrees because it had just rained. So we have these great monsoon. We have 4 mild seasons, and most people don't realize that. We get snow. We get fall. It's really a beautiful place.
It is. I mean, it's just, Payson is an easy place to sell.
It is.
It's a beautiful place to sell. And bringing in the high fiber, redundant fiber, having a guaranteed water supply is going to improve our overall livable conditions, which also makes it easier to recruit businesses. When you have high fiber, you know, that you can have redundant, reliable internet, then we can start working on recruiting like call centers, insurance, healthcare businesses that can come in and people can actually have good paying jobs that they can afford to buy a home and live here because we live in such a beautiful area. Yeah. We're surrounded by we're in the largest stand of ponderosa pines in the world.
I know.
In the world. I know. You know, we've been blessed this year with rain and snow. Blue Ridge is full, where we're getting our water from. The lakes are filling up. We just got a little rain, so our summer tourism is going to be huge for people coming up to the forest. So, and we want that because our number one driven industry is tourism and hospitality. And, you know, we have some great businesses, local businesses, and also top 100 retail businesses that are located along 260 and 87. So, average 20,000 vehicles a day. That's on a Monday. And then on weekends, it doubles and triples. So, you know, all the locals know you take the back roads on weekends. And we don't want to tell anybody else how to get on the back roads.
No. Although there's lots of great off-roading trails and Jeep trails, you know, over 400. So, you know, we live in almost 8 million acres of national forest. So there's a lot of things to do. And we do attract a lot of campers in the summer. So,
great new website.
I wanted to make mention of the website that Cameron's developed that is pretty spectacular. It's discovergilacounty.com, and he also created a page on that website where you can post jobs for free. If you're a local business here already and you need employees, that's a great place to go to post it, because I believe Cameron told us this morning there's over 150 jobs available at jobs.discovergilacounty.com. So please check out that resource as well.
I tell you what, that is a beautiful website that Cameron and his team has put together, and discover the wild of Gila County. It is just so nice. Take time to spend time on that, because
can you just come in from
some of the videos some of the videos are, you know, that they've created. One about Payson is just spectacular.
Oh gosh, it
You
is
know,
a
and
spectacular
we can't say
website.
enough thanks to Razor Thin Media and Cameron about what they've done on there. So
Yeah, thanks, Cameron.
you bet.
You're awesome. I tell you that every.
Nice plug, guys.
That's right. Yeah, send us a check later, right? You know, some of the industry key industries that I'm recruiting for is like agro tourism. And you think, well, what is that? Well, I mean, you know, that's really important because we all want to eat healthy. You know, we've made a complete list of all agro businesses in the rim country, and we're trying to get them together, trying to work with them so that they can get their products into local stores. You know, for example, when you walk into a restaurant, you know, if you're going to have a glass of wine, do you ask for an Arizona wine? If not, you should, because it's made in Arizona. Shop local, buy local, support local, because that's how it happens. You know, our large customers, Walmarts and Bashes and Safeways, and you know, these retail stores are great, and we love them to death because they provide jobs and they provide income into our community. But the local businesses is the backbone of any community, and that's the people that we have to shop. Can they compete with Amazon?
No one seems
You
to be
can't
able.
do that. But you can also compete by specializing in certain products that you can provide that service for, and that's where they have to find that niche to make them work.
So do you help be the liaison for that? Like my instant thought is like Bruzy Vineyards in Young, Arizona, and is his wine being offered at some of
Bruzy
these?
Vineyard is a perfect example because when James Bruzy came into my office and we started talking 4 years ago, whatever it was, first thing we did once he got his product completed is I took him around to every business in this town and every restaurant and was able to get his wine into, you know, restaurants and into Rim Liquor and into the beverage place. So now he has an avenue of not just selling it at his place, but into the retail market.
That's
and that's
fabulous.
growing. So because that's part of economic development.
Absolutely.
You know, is that walking that step, you know, from here's when they walk into my door, you know, my first question is, do you have a business plan? And most of them say, well, it's got it right up here. I said, well, we need to get it right down here on a piece of paper called a business plan. And if they don't have one, then I'll pick up the phone and contact my contacts at the Small Business Development Center, which we have a person that works here in town that we work real close together. This is a free service that we offer. It doesn't cost a penny. They'll work with you to help create a business development plan, and then we can get you in front of the SBA for a small business loan, because they're not going to give you a loan unless you have a good business plan. You know, you got to be able to show that you can actually survive for the first 2 years of a business. So that's really important. But we have all the help that we can bring in that a business needs to get started. We also have the Arizona Commerce Authority, which is a huge supporter of small businesses in rural Arizona. We just completed a spotlight on the Town of Payson. They come out and we filmed the spotlight. So that'll be going live in probably the next month or two. So that's huge advertisement for Payson and what we're doing. So there's a lot of things behind the scenes that go on every day that people really don't know. For example, our development services meeting, we have that on every Wednesday morning at 8:30, and we bring all department heads in, even outside department heads like APS and the cable and Alliant Gas and the health inspectors, and we bring the businesses in. It's a free service that we provide. I've had people come in with their diagram on the back of a napkin, and we started business from there. We've worked with Jason Engler and Aaliyah, his wife, who's going to be opening up a new Cool Mountain Brewery down on Main Street in the old Bootleg Alley Arts and Antique store. And we've been working for 3 years on this project, and we're getting right to that point where we can issue the permit and break ground. So we're really excited about that.
That is exciting. You do a lot for the community, so you're really an ambassador for new businesses. And can you talk us talk to us a little bit about what you can do with maybe an already pre-existing business that wants to grow or to hire more employees. Do you still offer free services for them?
Yes, we do. As a matter of fact, I have a program called the BRE program, and that's a Business Retention and Expansion. And it's a program that economic developers use where I set up a partner with Maya, again, at the Rim Country Regional Chamber of Commerce. She's the executive director. And she and I will go out and visit small businesses, just the two of us, because we don't want to be interruptive. And we try to spend less than 30 minutes and ask them a series of questions about what type of business they have, what's their number one issue. And then we make notes, and then we take it back and try to solve that problem. A lot of it is labor problems, and we're working on building that labor force. And to build a labor force, you have to start in the middle schools and work up to build that, because we have such a shortage of trade people. And when I say trades, I'm talking about plumbers, electricians, welders, because back when everything went to Mexico first, and then it went to China, the manufacturing arena just died. So we've had this 20-year gap, and the average age of a person in the trades is 62 years old now.
Wow.
And we're bringing more manufacturing jobs back into the United States. We have such a shortage, because in the past it was go to college, go to college, go to college, go to college, and there's nothing wrong with that. But we also need tradesmen. We need electricians, we need the plumbers, we need the people that work with their hands and do these things, because all the jobs in the future are moving towards electronics, robotics, because that is the future of our manufacturing, is that robotics and being able to work on them. Prime example is Resolution Copper over in Globe. They're doing away with open pit mining. Nobody wants to see a big hole in the ground anymore. So they're going down 7,500 feet, a mile and a half down. Well, it's 180 degrees at a mile and a half down. So humans can't work in that condition. So they're building robots that can go down and extract that copper and bring it out. Now there's going to be people sitting over here in Payson, Arizona, operating those machines working. It's just like the young millennials with their thumbs. I can't do that, but they can, and that's what it takes. But we're also going to have that group of people that are going to be working on the robots to bring that ore out. But there's got to be somebody here operating this. They can do that here in Payson, Arizona, work over there, just like they fly drones out of Las Vegas in the Middle East. So same technology.
So having said that, would it behoove us to open up a conversation in this community to start a vocational school instead of another university, which there's plenty of, it seems like? Do we need to build a vocational school to track the trades? Because that, to me, I think you're spot on with that, Bobby.
Well, you just segued it into my next comment, and that's
perfect.
exactly what we're working on with the ACA, the Arizona Commerce Authority, the Workforce Arizona, Gila Community College, the Town of Payson, PUSD, Payson Unified School District, and our other partners, because that's what we have to do. We need a trade school. We have the best nursing program in the state of Arizona right here in Payson, Arizona. We graduate more nursing students out of Gila Community College that have the highest grade average of all testing, and there's not one that's graduated that hadn't been offered a job.
That's fantastic.
Okay. It's huge. So we have a forestry program, we have a firefighting program, we have the nursing program. We're working on a HVAC program. We want to do a welding program. That all takes money, and it all takes location. So if anybody out there in Facebook land, if you have a building here in Payson that you'd like to donate, or you'd like to help us out to provide a location where we can set up a trade school, because we desperately need that
Yeah.
We have the students, we have the teachers, the instructors. We just need a location that we can operate out of.
Yeah, and I also would add to that, saying we have talking about going and mining for copper, but there's a gold mine of wisdom here, and I would think that because we have such a high retirement community, that there are people out there that would love to contribute and reach back to the next generations, and maybe donate their time volunteering, teaching a trade, teaching welding, teaching plumbing.
Yeah, that's exactly where we came up with the instructor for our HVAC. He's a retired HVAC. He owned his own business, so he's willing to teach and give back. And that's the type of people that we need, because you're right, we have such a vast resource of retirees and people here that we could
tap into.
You
Yeah, that's
bet.
okay. We have a question.
Talk about as an ambassador of the Chamber of Commerce, what does that mean for a small business to work with the Chamber?
Oh, I tell you what, the Chamber of Commerce and economic development are tied together. When that person walks into my office and I ask, do you have a business plan? And if they say yes or no, we go forward with that. And the next question is, when you open your business, you need to become a member of the Rim Country Regional Chamber of Commerce. And not just because I want to promote the chamber, but the fact is, that's what the chamber does. The chamber is the extension of the businesses.
That's right.
And they have the voice. And as you grow that chamber, you grow that strength, because if there's a question about zoning or signage or highways, that group of the people is, I think we have over 400 businesses in our chamber right now, which is huge. That's a big voice.
Yeah.
And when you take that voice and you talk to the council and you talk to the mayors, you get reaction. So being a part of the chamber is huge in any community that you're at.
I agree. How many businesses are in Payson? Do you know that?
I do, and if I could find that on my sheet of paper, I think we have 962 businesses.
Wow.
Yep.
That's incredible.
And,
and what about Main Street? We're closing down on the half hour. Can you believe it already?
It goes by
Dang
so
it.
fast.
Talk about women-owned businesses for just a second.
Well, there's 70% of the businesses owned on the historical Payson Main Street is owned by women. And this year we celebrated women-owned business through the Rim Country Regional Chamber of Commerce. We held a breakfast for our women-owned businesses. We give a proclamation at the town council meeting, and we had a good time at it. I was the only guy there, so I felt very special.
You're just
But
so
we had
cool.
a great time, and it was just women-owned businesses is huge. And again, the backbone of our community. So I can't say enough great things. Keep going.
And the women that run businesses too. I know Cameron's wife Kathy runs the Majestic Rim, excuse me.
Right, retirement community.
Retirement community.
She does a great job out there
there's
too.
It's a
beautiful location.
And being part of the Payson Women's Leadership Group,
Right.
a lot of the non-for-profits the executive directors are women. So kudos to women.
Yeah.
Just girl power. Just got to put that plug in there, right?
One plug I like to put in, I'm also on the board of directors for the Arizona Association of Economic Developers. We're a group of over 500 economic development professionals all over the state. And we're putting on a show. It's a roundtable for Central Eastern Arizona, May 16th. Here in Payson, Arizona at the Mattisville Hotel and Casino. It's a free event. All you have to do is go online to www.aaed.com and you can register for this free event. And it's a roundtable with Gila County, Pinell County, and Navajo County. And we'll bring up topics. You'll get a list of topics that you can select that you'd like to talk about that affects your community. And then we arrive at solutions. As a matter of fact, our broadband issue 4 years ago was one of the topics that we talked about, and we started forming this group to accomplish what we almost have done.
That's incredible.
So, and these documents go to our governor and to our legislators to say, here's a roadmap. We've solved some of your problems. Listen to us and let's take advantage of it.
That's
So please
fantastic.
go online. We'd love to have you. A free event. We're also having a tour after the event. It's a free tour. We're taking anybody like to go out to the Tonto Creek Fish Hatchery, and we're going to get a behind-the-scenes tour to see how all the different type trout are raised, and then we stock them into the areas all over Arizona.
That's phenomenal.
So it's going to be a lot of fun.
Thanks for the invite. I want to go.
Please.
I love.
Please, we'd
I
love to have you.
Thinking tanks, and I think we do best as a community when we get a lot of different input and a lot of wisdom in our
Oh, it's
decisions
huge.
before we make them, because we have limited resources and we really need to be smart about a lot of these big decisions. And I just wanted to thank you, Bobby, for joining us today. I just feel like there's so much more information that you can give us, but how can people reach you if they have questions about new businesses and whatnot?
Or you can go onto my website, which is www.paysonmeansbusiness.com. It's real easy to remember. That's my website. You can also contact me by email at bdavis@paysonaz.gov, or you can call me on my cell phone,
Yeah.
928
You really want that to go up?
978 4323.
You don't know what you just did.
That's all right. They can call me. It's open to the public.
You're a braver
So-
man than I am. Well, thank you again. It was an absolute pleasure to have you today. Thank you for sharing your wisdom with the community. This show will be archived on our website, PaysonAZProperties.com, and also on my business Facebook page at Deborah Rose, Payson AZ Realtor. Thank you so much for joining us today. Have an awesome day, and bye for now.
Thank you.